Hi, this is Jason and I'm currently at St Paul's Cathedral, and it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so I thought I'd give it a go tonight. And so the topic of today is a quote: "Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional." So what this means is in our everyday lives we're bound to come across situations that are to our disliking, that are unfavourable to us. So these are likely to be external factors that are uncontrollable. So for instance, it might be that you're walking down the street and someone makes a remark about you, you get upset about it. It could be that you're driving your car and someone cuts you up, or it could be that you're walking down the street and it suddenly rains, you don't have your umbrella, so you get absolutely soaked. So these are essentially external factors that we cannot control. It's essentially what the world is doing to us. What really matters is what we do to ourselves. So that's the suffering part. And when we say suffering is optional, this means we can control how we interpret or how we react to unfavorable circumstances. So suffering happens when we don't accept the moment, when we keep on dwelling on it, getting wound up on it, getting stuff that we cannot change, yet we put so much negative emotional investment into it, which essentially is just not healthy and it doesn't help with anything. So what we need to do in that sense, when it's optional, we need to take a third-party view, just step back from the situation, observe the feelings, observe the emotions, but do not get wound up or connected with the emotions. Just take an impartial view and just step back and just observe, watch the thinker essentially. And by doing that, it's really accepting the moment. It's really, in other words, accepting the moment as if you chose it to happen. So rather than it happening to you, i.e. that victim mentality, it's you actually chose the situation. Think of it that way, which is, it's hard to imagine that way, but it's helpful to kind of interpret it that way. And by accepting the moment, we just accept it. We acknowledge what has happened, but we don't overreact unnecessarily to the actual action of what has happened. But of course, nothing is ever absolute in these cases. Nothing is ever black and white. So for instance, if a relative passed away, for instance, then you're going to feel pain, obviously. That is the pain. And you obviously have to suffer a bit. There's a lot of emotional connection over decades and decades of relationship that has caused that suffering. And it's right for us humans naturally to suffer because it's something significant in our lives. But what I'm trying to say in this video is there are lots of everyday situations that cause us pain, but suffering is just an unnecessarily subsequent of that, and it's something that we can control by being in a moment, stepping away from the situation and just giving a third-party impartial view of things and just not getting wound up with the situation and emotions at the same time. So that's really it. Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So thanks for watching, and good night.